Hello, DECA members. My name is Sarah Sunny, and I'm your Texas DECA District 7 president. And welcome back to another episode of Spotlights with Sarah. Today, I'm going to let her introduce herself, so go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Eva Shapiro. I'm Colorado DECA District 3 representative, and I'm really excited to be here.
And we were just talking about this, like every single episode, the goal of today is to learn more about our featured guests' DECA journey. So we'll get started with kind of how you started in DECA. Was it freshman, sophomore? What were kind of the steps that allowed you to become a DECA member?
Yeah, so I was actually a founding member of my chapter. So my chapter is brand new. I started as a freshman during COVID. Everything was online, like nobody had any clue what was going on. And so it was really interesting to start a chapter
Mhm.
during COVID when everything was online. It was very like we weren't very connected to each other. It was very like kind of bits and pieces. And that first year, I was the only person from my chapter to qualify for state and then also nationals. I compete, we actually compete in the same thing. I do startup
Really?
business plan, yeah. And
Fun.
I also do entrepreneurship individual series. So I am a dual competitor. And then, so yeah, I qualified my freshman year and it was really just like, I kind of fell into it. It was
Right.
one of those things that like my business teacher was my favorite teacher. She was amazing, Miss
Mhm.
Larson. I love her. She'll probably watch this. But she was our DECA advisor,
Right.
and she kind of saw the passion that I had for business. And I was always like, it was online school, so like no one was really participating. But like in business, I was the only person who participated. And so
Mhm.
she noticed this and was like, we have these applications if you want to be a chapter officer, like, you can apply. At the time, there was like only two seniors who were on the officer team.
Mhm.
And I was like, this will be fun.
Mhm.
And so that year, I was like our VP of finance.
Yeah.
Um, and that was really fun. And it was just like something that completely changed my life that was like totally unexpected. It was just like so random.
Mhm.
And like, it was kind of the situation where I had no clue what DECA is. Like nobody in my family has been in DECA. I literally had no idea.
Mhm.
And then like a world of opportunities opened up. And then from there, last year, I also competed in a startup business plan, and that also got me to nationals as well last year. And last year was my advisor actually left, so we have a brand new advisor this year. So um, it's been an interesting experience because in my chapter, our chapter has grown exponentially. So right now, I think we're at like
Mhm.
115 members,
Wow, from you
and
starting it to that, that's a wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's grown like exponentially.
Mhm.
And it's been like kind of crazy just to kind of see that happen. It's been hard, I'm not gonna lie, like especially with our
Right.
new advisor this year, it's been a really cool thing to like see how someone learns about DECA with like
Mhm.
fresh eyes from like an advisor perspective. Also, like to all of the advisors, thank you so much because it
Yeah,
is such a hard job. Like it is
it
such
is.
a hard
There's so
job.
much involved in it, especially when you have a chapter that's continuously growing. To see it, 100 plus kids, it starts to get a lot of stuff that you have to plan.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I'm sorry. It's like, yeah, I our advisors, thank you to all of them. Like
yes, for sure.
they do so much for us. It's
Yeah, I think
incredible.
we're over 260 now. And I'm like, I don't even know how you're keeping this together because there's so many
Managing all those
officers.
kids.
Yeah. And I mean, it helps that we have such a strong officer team at Wakeland where, I mean, there's 14 of us. We have a very large officer team, but they're separated. So, like, it's role play written event officers. And
Yeah.
we kind of have the ability to split them up in a way that it doesn't seem like there's too many of us. So,
Mm,
you know, that's probably the backbone of our chapter to really have
yeah,
a strong advisor and a strong officer team, but also just kids that are willing to do good. And
totally.
that's super important because I think at times when when I first joined DECA, I wasn't very serious. I mean, not that I had anything against it, but I didn't know what it was. I just thought it was this club at school that my mom was like, "That looks cool. You should join it." I don't have any siblings, so I had no point of reference for what this was. I just saw that it was popular because at this point, it was pretty large at our school. And Are you a junior?
Yeah, I'm a junior.
Okay, so I was like, you said COVID year, and then I was like, that sounds similar.
Yeah,
So
my freshman year, my
yeah,
COVID year. Yeah.
yeah, COVID year. And it was already so hard because there were so many kids that wanted to join, but and it was nothing to do with the advisor or the officers. It was just a lot of kids wanted to join, and it was all basically on Zoom for the year.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a really interesting kind of standpoint to be in.
Yeah.
And I think our first meeting was on Zoom. There was like an over 100 kids who had joined that Zoom call. And I mean, it's hard to explain stuff virtually, I think. So a lot of it was just we just texted our officer that was kind of in charge of us for the year, and we're just like, tell us if we're doing everything wrong because we feel like we are.
Sorry. Excuse me.
You're fine.
Um,
So yeah, that was kind of the main thing. It's just, and I'm really grateful that we get to kind of teach new members now, not in a COVID setting, because
yeah.
it's so much easier to get them involved. But, you know, you've had to overcome so many different things with COVID, as have I, as is anybody who really started in that standpoint, that you kind of appreciate the in-person stuff so much more.
Absolutely. Oh my
Because
God. My
being
first
in
state
person.
conference that I went to, I was like, this is why everyone loves
Right.
DECA.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
It's, I mean, now granted, I was a bit stressed at my first district conference because I was also running for office. So it's just like, I don't know how to do this in the first place. And I've added
Yeah.
another thing on top of it. But it was still amazing because, you get to talk to people. I get to say hi to them and tell them what I'm doing. So
Yeah,
yeah.
no. Well, yeah. So in Colorado, we run for office like very differently than you do in
Mhm.
Texas. So our officer team, we have 17 people on our officer
Oh
team.
my
It's
God.
supposed to be 18. We have one vacant position. But instead of having like you have a team for District 7,
Right.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's three of
So
us.
I am the only District 3 officer.
Hmm.
Um, and like so I'm just in charge of District 3, and then we have someone who's in charge of District 2, and so we have a district officers, and then we have our executive officers, and
Mm.
that's president, vice president, stuff
Interesting.
like that.
So kind of
And
just
we
group it
all
all
work as
together.
one team. Yeah,
Mhm.
we all work as one team. Like one of our like we create our like goals for the year, and our POW, POL as well. But one of our like main thing is like we are a state officer before we're anything else. So like no one is higher than another person, which
Mhm.
I think is nice. But the other thing that we do is instead of like campaigning for ourselves, it's like more like an interview process.
Mhm.
So we just go in front of the committee who votes us in.
Mhm.
And that's like DECA members. It's like I think it's 13 committee
Interesting.
members.
Okay.
And then we give a speech and we answer interview questions, but it's not like a campaign at all.
Yeah.
We just have to like appeal to the committee. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's interesting. I'll explain kind of the process for Texas, I guess. So, as a freshman or sophomore or really any grade, but if you kind of leave room, you can obviously run for state office. So, district office is kind of different there's 11 districts, and because they're so large, like my district itself has over 3,000 members, but because they're so large, that's why they've kind of created these mini teams, because otherwise I feel very bad for the state officers. But so there's three of us, there's two VPs, one president, and for the most part there are a few that have like vacant positions and such, but they're supposed to be three. And as for District 7, it was very similar almost to the state officer process. They kind of mirrored the same thing. So there were a few written responses involved. There was obviously that kind of signature packet that was like just legal documents, I assume, as
Yeah.
well. And then actually at district conference, it's you don't get to you have to take a district officer test. That was probably like the biggest thing.
Yeah, we have to do that
Test
as well.
you're announced as a candidate. And once you're announced as a candidate, you have the opportunity to campaign in whatever way you want. But you're not the difference with really anything in DECA for the most part is that you're never competing against somebody because there's one team and you're not running for president. So in that
Yeah.
way, it was very much more like I should be one of your officers, but you should get other people to come too. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like that. And I didn't really campaign prior because I didn't know what DECA Instagram was. Like I had no idea what those things were. I was a sophomore. My first year was all virtual. I just
Yeah.
really wanted to, serve more members because I'd become vice president of my chapter. And again, we don't have vice president of certain divisions. That was kind of like the second highest position at the time.
Yeah.
And my job was like, I want to do more. So that's why I did that. And then it was just a speech and there's 2 interviews, one with advisors and the district directors and stuff, and then one with the current officer team, as well as any state officers that were from District 7, which there were. So actually your
Cool.
chapter's president was. So that was kind of what that is. And then state office, as far as I know, same kind of thing, signature packets. Obviously, you take a test, you pass the test, you get announced as a candidate. But obviously, people are utilizing social media as a bigger way to campaign now, because
Yeah.
I feel like it's just grown exponentially in terms of just DECA. It wasn't as big 2 years ago, in my opinion. I mean, it was
Yeah.
there, but it wasn't what it's become. And now I met you, I met so many other people through social media, and it seems like a cliche to say social media brings everyone together, but it kind of has, because I would
Yeah.
not have known any of these people.
No, 100%. And I also think that like with social, so I actually started my DECA Instagram account like right after ICDC this year because I was like,
Oh,
oh, like
interesting.
I need to get this started. So
Yeah.
pretty late actually because I didn't need it to campaign and stuff like that. But it's kind of completely changed my life
Yeah.
because I love posting on my DECA Instagram page and like I
Yeah.
love seeing what everyone else is up to like in their chapters and stuff like that. And now like my feed, I also have like a DECA TikTok, but I haven't really posted a ton on
I
it.
do too, but I just don't market it very much.
Yeah, no. But like now my whole feed, everything is all DECA and I
Yeah.
love it. It's so fun.
It's
It's
so
great.
fun. It's just like I'll be like looking at somebody's post on my regular account, like, you know what? Never mind. Let me go to the other one.
Yeah.
Because, it's really fun to see, well, also the different levels, because I post a lot about my chapter just because as of now, there's been just more events that we've been doing. But I always think it's super interesting when state officers, district officers post more about their actual chapters, because if anything, your chapters are where you have the ability to connect firsthandedly the most with members. And
Absolutely.
so, as for like getting people in DECA, obviously, I can't really do that with all 3,000 members a part of District 7. I can, talk to them in a Zoom call. And I can do all of those things to the best of my ability. But when it comes to just going there, seeing 50 kids walk in and want to learn about what DECA is, I can pitch it to them. And
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
love kind of looking at that aspect of it as well. And I absolutely love District 7 too. I've posted, but most of them are currently Zoom related events. So it's kind of nice to have both of those aspects on my page where, I mean, and it's great that I've gotten so much good feedback with people that are like, I want to share this with my chapter, or I want to talk to, others about how to do those type of things. So I kind of love the idea of being able to post about both and just get the word out there for everything.
No, yeah, 100%. I know. I like when you say that stuff about like being able to really impact the people in your
Mhm.
chapter more, like District 3 is one of the bigger districts
Right.
in Colorado DECA, just because it's like the Denver metro area, which
Mhm.
is the state's capital. But I can't, we have like 3 new schools, a ton of new chapters, and like I'm trying, like I'll give you the resources I have, but at the end of the day, like I'm I can at my school, if we have a club fair, I can sit at a table and explain to kids
Right.
what DECA is. I can't go to every single school's club
Mhm.
fair and do the same thing. But I also think it's important to like as a state officer, I've
Right.
like one of my big goals this year has been to try and connect with every single school that's in
Absolutely.
my
Yeah.
district. And especially like, so I've already reached out to a couple of them doing, like you said, Zoom calls. A couple of people want me to come in person, stuff like that. I think is really important because I'm representing them on the state
Right.
level. And I want to make sure that, their needs are being met
Yeah.
and, all of that kind of stuff. And especially like the kids who are in that chapter who have like no idea what's going on, like I would love to help them so that they can find the same kind of passion that I have found for DECA. And I don't think I would have been able to without the district representative that
Mhm.
was there, one which is actually our current president, Kate. She was District 3 officer while I was a sophomore last year. And she really just like kind of opened the door for me and really helped me kind of connect with DECA on like a deeper level. And she
Mhm.
helped me like when I was interested in running. And I want to kind of be that person for as many people as I can as well.
Yeah, for sure. And that, I think, is my biggest goal. And I I've had the opportunity to speak to some chapters. A lot of them are relatively local just because, excuse me, I'm in Frisco IC, which is 12 schools, 12 high schools, and a bunch of DECA members. And it does take up a very large portion of District 7, even though District 7 is kind of a lot of the suburbs around Dallas. And well, we kind of split it with District 11 now because 7 got too big. But those are kind of what we have. So we have a lot of members just because of that. But I had the opportunity to go on a panel with Memorial High School. So they're another school in my school district, and they created it basically for all Frisco IC DECA members. And I thought that was amazing. So my goal is to try to do the opportunities that I can. And obviously there are times where you can't do it, but even just sending an email to the schools that you're in charge of, just tell them, hey, my name is Sarah. It's so nice to meet you. Welcome to District 7. I'm excited to get to work with you further.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
When I get questions from members, as in, what should I do? I'm confused. I'm going to help them the best I can. But the first thing I will tell them is that talk to your chapter officers, because if you have them, they are 100% there to help you, and your advisor. And the best thing about DECA is that there's always someone to answer your question. If they don't know the answer, they're going to ask me, or you can ask me, and I'll try to get the answer. And if I don't have it, I'll go up. I'll make sure you get an answer. So I'll go up to the state president. I'll ask her what she's doing. And if she doesn't know, she'll ask our state director. And so there's always going to be somebody who can answer your question, which is why I advocate for always asking them. Even if I can't, if I don't know the answer, if I can't answer it, I'll get you to somebody who can. So that's kind of the biggest thing. And obviously always connecting with members. And that's kind of my goal as a district officer. The whole idea of Spotlights with Sarah is to, talk to leadership positions or people in leadership positions and kind of what they've done to become successful. But also the idea is to just shine the light on members and talk about ways that can help them get to those areas. So that's kind of the purpose of this, to just talk to them.
Absolutely.
And it's a simple thing, but it doesn't always happen. So that's just
I mean, for me, when when someone asks me oh, what is DECA? That's sometimes that's such a hard question to answer. My favorite route to go down with that is someone asked me, oh, what's DECA? Okay, what's something that you're interested in? Give me anything.
I say that every time.
Yeah. And DECA, let's say they said movies. Great, fantastic. There's a competitive event that is all about how, marketing, impacts movies.
Right.
How would you want to participate in that? Would you want to, create a integrated marketing campaign for a movie premiere? Would you want to? And I think it's just such a cool opportunity that literally anything that you want to do is within DECA. And I feel that's a great approach when someone asks you oh, what is DECA? What can I do in DECA? And that's a question that to do for you. Answering. Yeah.
Or I always say it's all the way from automotive services to fashion design. There is nothing that you can't find that'll help you. And I mean, I'm always an example I say I want to go into medicine, but it doesn't matter because I'm still going to learn everything I need to. And say I do switch it, whatever career I do decide to go into, I know that DECA will have been there to help me through it the entire time.
Absolutely.
So absolutely. That's an amazing tip, especially for chapter officers or anybody who's watching this. If you're either trying to market DECA or you're trying to learn more about it, just know that it's really anything you want it to be, which is what I love about it. We have so many different types of kids and students, and it's not just for one type of kid. It never should be. There are people that I never would have met ever because we didn't have the same initial interests, but you connect with them because you all have this goal to do good and to do better and to kind of create a community. So 100%. Yeah, I fully
the DECA community is the best. Everyone is so loving, so supportive, and I'm just so grateful to be a part of it. I could literally not ask for a better community to surround me.
For sure. So let's talk a little bit about your competitive event. It's not like I don't know about it, but start a business plan. It's kind of a baby. I do love it very, very much. But talk about your experience in the event and kind of what are you've already kind of said this, but congratulations, first of all, on being an ICDC qualifier for 2 years.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I mean, I didn't get as far as you did, but I'll take the win nonetheless.
I mean, honestly, it's just it is a pretty competitive event too, that sometimes I'm just like, oh, there's that many kids in it. That's great.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it,
I
it
know
does
sometimes
allow the
I'm like,
option.
maybe I should be competing in like finance. What am I
Or like,
doing?
but then I'm like, I'm not gonna do good in finance. This is a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So,
true.
I don't know. Everyone kind of has their own attachment to their event. Let's just like, that's very,
Absolutely.
very true. Now, some
Yeah.
kids, they try a different thing every year. I could never do that. I could not be that person.
No, it's like it's crazy. Like I think that you must have like such adaptability in your
Yeah,
brain.
you
I
have
think
to
the other
be
thing is
so.
like with the startup business plan, you can do so many things.
I
Like
think that's
that's
very
why I
true.
feel like it's a lot easier to just do one event is because every single year is something different.
I guess
Like,
that's true. Yeah. Unlike some
like
bigger
you're
events
being,
where, yeah, if you do it 4
yeah,
years, you're kind of
yeah,
doing the same thing over and over again. But with startup, I have a new project every single year with my
every
team.
single
So
year.
like
Yeah,
it always works because I'm never bored, if that makes sense. Now
exactly.
I have my own little formula at this point for what I do for the event,
Oh
obviously,
no, me too. Me
but
too. Yeah.
it's always a different project, and I do love that about it. So if you want to do startup, guys, I mean, it is the best of it. No.
It's so fun. Like genuinely, I love startup. I actually compete in startup by myself.
Okay.
Um, like that's just like how I started my freshman
Mhm.
year because of COVID and everything. And
Right.
that's just like what I've been doing. And at this point, I'm like, I know what's going on. I have my little
Yeah.
system. I'm not gonna like invite someone else into my system. I feel like that's
Yeah.
kind of mess it up. Not that like I do genuinely love working in a team, but like once I already have an
That's a
established
little bit
system,
different. If you start it by yourself, I think it's harder to bring in a team. I
yeah,
didn't know what DECA was when I started. So they said 3 people, and I saw one of my best friends on the call. I was just like, hey, you want to do this with me? She's like, sure. I don't know what we're doing, but let's do
yeah,
this. And I had a
absolutely.
dance class, like, meaning I needed to get my fine arts and PE credit in one class. So I took
Yeah.
dance. And this girl, Natalie, who was in it, she basically said, oh, should I have joined DECA because everyone's saying they're going to join it? It's like, hey, we have one more spot on our team. I mean, she didn't even know who Sam was at the time. She didn't know who the other girl was. And I was just
Yeah.
like, okay, you guys don't have classes together. I have classes with both of you, but you don't know each other. How are we going to work this out? But for some reason, our group just kind of clicked somehow. It's
I love it.
literally like when I chose my event, I did not think through it. I saw the competitive events poster that's like from DECA
Hmm.
startup. I was like, that sounds interesting. Let's do that. So
Yeah.
sometimes the least thought out things work, but
Yeah. No, 100%.
yeah.
So it's actually really interesting because I was actually working on creating a real business at the
Mhm.
time. And that's how I kind of stumbled upon startup because I was like, okay,
Okay.
I'm already doing the work in creating this real business. It didn't end up, it was an app. I was trying to create an
Mhm.
app. And the process to create an app is more than I'm able to like withstand while I'm in high school. So
Mhm.
after I graduate, a lot more achievable, but um that was just kind of how I stumbled into it. I was like, well, I'm already doing this. Like I already have a team that I've hired to kind of work on this app with me. I would love to just kind of take everything that I've learned and just put it
Right.
into startup. And it just ended up working out really great. It was really fun. I love Canva, so like that
Mhm.
was my best friend.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really, it was a great process. The other thing that I've done is like now that I've competed in it twice, both of my plans, even though they've been like completely different ideas,
Mhm.
my theme is always like purples. And I feel like
Ooh.
that is so fun because, well, first of all, my school's colors are purple,
Okay.
but and my favorite color is purple, not because of my school, just because I just love the color
Purple is my
purple.
favorite color too, so I get
I
it.
know, purple's great.
It's
But
great.
what I've done is I've like kind of kept the same like color theme throughout them all so that like when I look across, they're all like compatible
That's
with
so
each
sweet. I
other.
love that.
I know, I love it.
So our products are all medical based. Not because all of us want to go into medicine. That's definitely not true. But we just had the opportunity to become really innovative with that because there's so much
Yeah,
stuff that you don't know about the medical field. So that's kind of where we went with it. So
that's
our
awesome.
color scheme is important. It was like biggest tip for any prepared event, have a color scheme. It just makes it so
Yes.
much better.
Oh my
And we
God,
did
yeah.
think through it. So like last year, the paper that we did win with, it was based around kidney disease. And apparently, some sort of kidney disease color is purple. So our paper was purple for the year. And then we
Yeah.
did cardio the year before, so red. So we kind of had some thought process there. other than the fact that we just wanted our paper to be pretty, but we
Yeah.
did have kind of a thought process with that. So we kind of, I do love looking back now. My freshman year paper, I don't even want to look at that sometimes. It's okay. But after you like when I'm doing it, I'm like, it looks great. And then afterwards, you just become really critical of
Yeah.
yourself.
No,
But
100%. I was like, why didn't I add like half of the information I should have added in that? Like,
yeah,
what
I'm
in the
like,
world
why does
was I
this
doing?
picture look so bad? No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Which that's a completely thing altogether. You become super critical of yourself when you want to do well. And
Absolutely.
both in competition and in officer positions, like there are so many times where I will think back to a conversation that I had with a member and like, why did I say that and I didn't say this? But at the end of the day, we're all just doing our best. So
Yeah.
it's good to just kind of be like, I did good. That's okay.
Absolutely. I know. So I think it's really interesting because DECA at its heart is just preparing us for the real world. And, whatever field we choose to go into, like we will be more prepared because of DECA. And in the real world, you mess up, you make mistakes. Like the best example of this, like right now, I'm a hostess at a restaurant
Mhm.
here in Denver, obviously. But like I mess up so much. And I'm like, you know what? It's okay. DECA's taught me. I can take this, move on, continue. Like, I think it's just been really cool to just kind of move on from, okay, cool, you make a mistake next year, correct it, do it better.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's really a super great opportunity that DECA has given us.
No, I thought you were gonna say that you're a hostess here in Texas, but no, it's
Oh
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I fly over there
Come
every
all
single
the way over
night.
here to Dallas just to say hi to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, you know it. I'm
Yeah.
in District 7. You didn't know that?
Yeah,
Well,
you
now
just
you
came over here to Frisco and you were like, you should come visit me.
yeah,
But
yeah.
are you, wait, are you going to, which conference are you going to next?
I'm going to WRLC.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah,
let me be clear about that. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
Well,
yeah, we don't go to
wait till
Power Trip. We go to,
ICDC.
yeah,
Okay.
I know.
It's always
And
the
we
sad
didn't
part.
also, yeah, I know. We didn't go to ELS because we were really busy
Yeah.
this summer, but we should have. It would have been really fun, but it's okay.
No, it's okay. But no, I always like have a huge conversation with people and I'm like, when's the next time I see you?
I know.
And sometimes they'll say
Next
power trip
spring.
and
Yeah.
then they'll say ACDC and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's
Okay.
it's okay.
It's okay. Maybe I'll just fly out to Texas for
Yeah,
fun.
we'll just come over here.
Yeah.
So I do like to ask, what is like your most funniest moment in DECA? Because I say fun, but then everyone says ICTC. So do funniest and do something that like I swear every single DECA chapter and association has just this stupid thing that kids do. So go ahead, tell me about it.
Okay, funniest moment. Okay, I think I have a couple, but
Okay.
like we'll start chronologically.
Okay.
So, okay, last ICDC, I was the only person well, we had two people from my chapter qualify, but I was the only person who decided to go.
Mhm.
And because of that, I was traveling. I ended up sharing a room and traveling with our rival school, which was really awkward, but it was fine. It ended up working out. But I was sharing a room with four girls or
Mhm.
three other girls that I had literally no clue. Like I had never met them. I found two of them on Instagram. Like it was a little bit of a nightmare, but it was okay. And it was interesting because the hotel that we were in, Colorado, I think we were in the Sheridan, and
Mhm.
they like didn't have enough full size beds for us. And so I ended up like sharing a bed with a girl that I just met that was literally a twin size bed for 4 nights,
Oh my God.
which was pretty insane. But it was also like kind of so fun because now we're like so close. We went to a
That's sweet.
concert together. Yeah, no, like now I love Erica. It's Erica. I don't know, she might end up watching this. We'll see. But we went to a concert together. Like we're really close now. But that
Mhm.
was just like kind of an experience that I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Let's
Right.
continue this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then another one is so we do a CTSO training, state
Mhm.
officers do a CTSO training in like early July, like late June.
Mhm.
Um, and we were staying at a hotel it had like a full pool, and it ended up there was, we, I think there was all 17 of us there. Yeah, there was all 17 of us there. And we ended up just like so many of us just got in the pool. It was also Kate's birthday that day. And so we got her an ice cream cake and it was like just melting the whole time. And it was just like such a fun experience
Yeah.
that like it was just hilarious because we were all exhausted from the day. We just like jumped in the pool. Some of us, like some people were just like in their clothes. It was just like such a fun experience that I feel like I like it's one of those things that I'm just like not gonna forget because it was really fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are great ones. I always like
Yeah.
to share a new one whenever I do these.
Yeah.
So let's see. Okay. So we have an officer on our chapter officer team. And we learned, no, we learned that our president, when I was vice president, she loved Nutty Buddies. Like the candy, absolutely
Yeah.
loved them. It was like this thing because we used to sell them at our SBE and then we didn't. And it was kind of this thing where she was like, I kind of wish we sold them still because she would get them all the time. And so one of our chapter officers, he ordered a flag, a Daddy Buddy flag, that took like 4 months to get here. And we
Of
all
course.
signed it for her.
I love it.
And she was also the VP of career development at Texas DECA last year.
Hmm.
And we brought it to ICDC and we had it like in the Texas sitting area at opening session and everything. There was pictures. That's probably a really fun one. We also brought it to like district CDC. No, we
I
didn't.
love
We brought it to ICDC, but we bought her and anybody's for districts and she was eating them with
that.
our advisor. It was hysterical. I don't
I
know why
love
it was so funny.
I feel like every chapter should have like a food
I
associated with
know,
it.
right? I feel like
Like
that
I feel
should.
like
The other thing is
that
that
would just be fun.
we had a Queen Elizabeth cutout. Some
Oh,
people have seen the vlog that I posted a little bit ago, and that was like 2 days before she unfortunately passed away.
yeah.
And now I'm just like, wow,
Good
that's
timing. Yeah.
interesting. So I looked at the video and I was like, there's one more thing I want to show you guys, and I turned the camera on. It's the Queen, right? Now there's a sticky note in place of the Queen's because the same officer brought her, took her
Yeah.
home. There's a sticky note that says in loving memory of the Queen. And kids were trying to take pictures with her when everyone found out she passed away. So
Mm,
yeah, it was
it
really
is sad.
it was interesting. But I mean we had great moments with her.
Yeah.
I would walk into our SB in the morning and be like, hey Queen, what's up? So that was kind
I
of
love it.
I don't know why we have a thing with flags and cutouts, but that's kind of
I feel
our
like it's great. I love it. I know. I'm thinking maybe for my chapter we need some cutouts.
I think
Who do
you
we do? Maybe
do.
we do like Edward from Twilight. Yeah.
Oh, ooh, do that. That's great. I think you should do that. They upped
Perfect.
the
I'll
prices on
just
Amazon too.
I know. I feel like we should
It
get
was
a
just
cutout.
like
Try
it was
to
like
let me
$20.
talk to our chapter
Yeah, yeah.
officers. I'll
Get
tag
I think
you once we get
everybody
it.
get a cutout for your SBE. I promise
Yes.
it will make it more successful.
Yeah.
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 But do you guys
Absolutely.
have an SBE?
We actually don't have an SBE, simply because we don't have a bank account for our chapter
Mm-hmm.
because it's really hard to get a bank account in our district for
Mm-hmm.
like not like classes and not like we have like a giving tree program, but like
Mm-hmm.
it so we don't have a bank account, so it's really hard to have an SBE without a bank account.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't, but we're working on it. We want to. But right
It's
now, our
fun.
JROTC program is really
Mhm.
huge at our school,
Okay.
and they have a store. So we don't want to like steal
Oh,
business
I
from them.
see. I see. You should
Yeah,
maybe
we want to see
like
if we can
do
work
a
with
joint
them.
thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's just where we spend the most amount of our time, I would say, as an officer team, is
yeah.
because kids show up when it's not their shift. And it's the funniest thing. Cause I'll be like, is this your I actually forget who's on what shift because we're always all there. So
I
that's
love it.
always super sweet. But
That's fun.
yeah. Okay, go ahead, share one last thing. Talk about your advice for members. We talked a lot about advice, but I want to hear like what are your parting words that you would just make sure you want a member to know.
Yeah. So I think as a new member in DECA, it is so easy to get like wrapped up in everything going on, literally having no clue what's going on. I think it's really important to like just like sit for a second and like take a breath. Like
Mhm.
just sit down, take a breath. If so much stuff is going on, there's gonna be a lot of stuff going on. It's gonna overwhelm you. Like it's gonna be exciting. Take a second and take a breath. Like I feel like if I could have just like stopped and been like, whoa,
Mhm.
where am I right now? Like this is incredible. Like I'm so proud of myself and just like taking a breath at ICDC at state. I feel like I would have really enjoyed those moments like even more than I already did. And so while you're at your state conference, it's gonna be busy. It's gonna be a lot. Like maybe when you're like going to sleep, you're like take a second and be like, wow, like I'm so proud of myself. I can't believe I am where I am right now. Like, no matter where you're going to go in your future, DECA is going to help you. It's going to help you become a better leader, become a better wherever you want to be. It's going to help you be better. And so if
Right.
you can just like, take a second for yourself and be like, I'm so proud of myself right now. I'm so glad that, I've had this experience, and then continue. I feel like that's what I'm going to continue to do at every event, at every moment. But that's what I hope all of you can do as well.
Yes, for sure. And it's something that every member has basically said, or at least anybody who's been a DECA for a while has said at one point, is just, sometimes we just get caught up in doing so much that we forget. And because we're all so high achievers, and it's an incredible thing to actually see so many people that want to do so well in everything. But
Yes.
as a high achiever, you have to sometimes just take a breath for yourself and focus on the fact that I started this to have a good time and to meet new people. And I want to make sure that that's still a priority of mine at
Absolutely.
every step of the way. So
100%.
that's a fantastic piece of advice. And with about 3 minutes left, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording in just a second, but keep you on. So that was episode 6 of Spotlights with Sarah, which, see, at times I'm like, that doesn't feel like a lot, but also all of these are long episodes.
I know.
So
I was watching them. I was like, whoa, this is gonna be like 6 hours of my life. No,
yeah,
just kidding.
but but I like the opportunity to actually just talk to people. And
Absolutely. No, this is
it feels
amazing.
like a little bit like I'm just throwing people into it, but also everyone just adapts to it and they love it. So
Yeah,
that makes me
it's so
really
fun.
happy.
I
So
love it.
yeah, thank
Watch the
you.
other episodes, guys.
Yes,
She
for
really
sure.
slayed.
And I am there's been a few. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't with uploading it through Instagram. So sometimes it has to be a 15-minute cap for some reason, and it just goes on the YouTube. But I would just check out both guys just to make sure
Yeah.
you guys can get the full episode, because you don't want to miss, especially that amazing piece of advice. You don't want to miss that. So
Yeah.
with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching episode 6. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.